Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we're here to talk about why 2s will never take skill in NBA2K. It's always been about exploiting, whether it be in the past or now. In the past with the stretch bigs, dexing around the inbound. Nowadays with the post-lock combo where you're just throwing up contested post fades and post hooks. It's awful, so we're here to talk about that in this vid, so I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. Let's try this 1 to 1,000 likes in the first 24 hours. You can see the guys are playing against in this video. Not exactly a meta lineup as far as the 2v2 goes. They have the offensive threat at the 1 with the slashing playmaker big man at the 2. Very, different, interesting build, and albeit they're both only SS3s. So just keep in mind, this isn't exactly meant to be the highest competition level when it comes to the gameplay. Now this lineup right here, is this the least skilled lineup that you can bring to the table? Absolutely not. Obviously there's a post-lock combo that I talked about in this video, and we don't have any clips of showing what that's like. So just understand, for anybody who doesn't know about that somehow, it's ridiculously toxic. It takes no skill. You can just literally not even time your post hooks or post fades and make them 100% covered as long as you're somewhat close to the basket. But in this one, we're here to talk about this lineup where, for whatever reason, this is still a respectable lineup on 2K20 to run 2 play locks. So Dope has the facilitating finisher with playmaker takeover. Like I said, we're both play locks. Dope is 6'7", I'm 6'7". And then as for me, I'm on the pass first wing with lock takeover. Only a 92 overall, but obviously being a legend compensates for that and more. So just keep that in mind. But I will say, the exact thing that we did in this gameplay, you can easily do with a non-legend playlock, double playlocks, whatever it may be. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties. Now, I want to explain what I'm doing in this gameplay. I do not want to sit here and say that I'm better than the next guy who plays this game because of what I did in this video. I just want you guys to understand, I'm debunking and talking about the imbalance of the playlock pie chart, and nonetheless, 2 of them on the 2v2 court. So, flat out, this build in this pie chart is just super OP. You're going to see I'm coming out here dexing like I'm a pure stretch back in 2K17, where I'm over here flying around the inbound, shooting from like gold range extender. Now, I want to give you guys something to think about, all right? A play lock pie chart, or even a pure lock for all I care, if you really want to push this narrative really far. A pure lock or a play lock, whatever you want to talk about, has the same level of range extender as a pure stretch back in 2K19. Now sit there and think about that, and think about how imbalanced this game is. Now, not only that, you have the ability to customize all your jumpers and stuff like that too, or as far as the shooting badges and whatnot. Same with the finishing. Now, when we talk about how great this build is, you can sit here and watch the one bit of defense that we even had to play throughout this gameplay. Boom. We're over here both getting the crazy chase down, and we both have crazy range when it comes to chase down artists, rim protector, all types of stuff. Clamps, Hall of Fame. We got great defensive ratings. Now, with all that said, you'd think okay, well, locks are supposed to be good at defense. Let a lock be a lock. I understand that. I do agree. And you can see, again, now I just get the passing lane. Now I'm out. They jump at me because they know this build can shoot, and, shooting on display right there. I will say, one thing to obviously talk about is the fact that shooting off catch and shoot is a whole lot easier to do than off dribble because of the fact that we both have Hall of Fame dimer and stuff like that too. Now check this out. This is where the real toxicity comes into play. So a lot of times when we do this inbound glitch, whether I'm using my finisher or anything like that, either my build can't shoot and they know that they don't have to respect my 3-pointer off of this inbound glitch, so you don't have to worry about the wing in this situation, or I can't shoot at all in this situation, so even if they give me this wide open look, it doesn't even matter. Now check this out. They both play the lob for Dope, and then I just pull it green from the top. Easy. And not only that, but his dimer activated on that as well. Playmaker takeover activating on that. And all of that said, for him to have Hall of Fame dimer, him have playmaker takeover, him be an ISO option as well if I felt like I was going to get locked up. Because the worst part about this lineup, and what we didn't even do in this video, is you can play bully ball with it. You can literally just take it at the worst defender. And low-key, okay, I was going to say, I hope I didn't actually do that right there. You can take it at the worst defender, constantly just bully him all day, and just take advantage of his low defense. Now, should you be able to do that? Yes. But to be able to do it consistently, I feel like it shouldn't be a lock build, man. I really don't. And then look at this. Gold bailout, make the pass easy, green it every single time. I mean, bro, to shoot off catch and shoot is not hard to do. And like I was saying, the worst part is you can just take it out of weak link on defense, expose their worst defensive matchup. And with all that said, to be an offensive build in this game, you don't even get that much more offensive ability than to be a play lock anyway. Check this out. So obviously they're sagging off me. I don't even know why. Playmaker takeover. I'm going to bang that every single time, especially if I have hot zone hunter, hot zones, all types of stuff like that. Like I said, playing with playmaker takeover, Hall of Fame dimer, Hall of Fame floor general, and even think about that. The 2 greatest badges as far as raising your ratings. You have Hall of Fame floor general and Hall of Fame defensive leader that you could both run. So you're both getting literally +4s to every single attribute you could even get in this game. And with all that said, I have this build nowhere finished. I don't have contact dunks. I can't even speed boost off rip. And not even to mention, we were doing flashy passes in these games too, where you get your takeover meter up super fast. All I'm saying is running this lineup takes very minimal skill, and a lot of people will sit here and say, oh, well, you don't have to use those exploits to run the double play locks. You could just play good defense and have only one ball handler. Yeah, well, it's the same narrative of the whole, oh, well, you shouldn't correlate play locks with ISO because that's not real ISO. Well, the fact of the matter is, it is real ISO. Unfortunately, I mean, people green threes when they're left wide open, and then they just go rim run if people play them too high, and then at the same time, they have great defense. So just keep in mind, again, the competition level, it's not meant to be extremely high. Got a paint defender and a two-way slashing playmaker on the other team. But the whole point of what I'm talking about right here is whatever your narrative is that you want to talk about this lineup, right? If you want to sit here and say, oh, the double play locks isn't that toxic, it's not that hard to just guard ISO. Well, it is pretty hard when you can't help off of anybody. You literally have to stick the dude one-on-one, not do anything when it comes to the help defense. And then even at that, a good play lock is going to green shots that you leave him open on. And then, like I said, catch and shoot. Don't even get me started on the catch and shoot. I mean, that's the easiest thing in the world if you have 10 shooting badges with 65 three-pointer. It's not even debatable whether that's hard or not in this game. And that's where the root of this problem starts, really, is that this play lock is one of the best spot-up builds in the game, when literally its perk of its build is supposed to be playmaking. Like, you shouldn't necessarily be a good spot-up shooter with a build that is meant to be good at playmaking and defending. So not only that, like I said, it can shoot off dribble really well. I'm over here dexing on the inbound again, and I'm open because why? He's worried about the lob cheese. Like I said, when I'm on my finisher, a lot of times you're watching that paint and you're trying to watch the alley-oop on this. But what makes it even more toxic is when you can shoot off of this. And I got did like this in a series. We're not going to talk about who it was, but look at that flashy pass, boom. Three-pointer. Now my takeover meter is just through the roof, and it's 8 points only. And even if we give the ball back, even if I struggle to make this shot right here, which I'm still not going to, and then now my takeover is just through the roof off another flashy pass, even if we struggle to score, we're still both lockdown defenders. We both still have a Hall of Fame defensive badges with 20 plus in each category. Meanwhile, I actually have like 31, but just, it doesn't matter. I mean, like I said, my build, it has 11 finishing, 15 shooting, 21 playmaking, and then 31 defense. So the only thing I really have through the roof compared to another play lock would just be the defense. But check this out. Look at this. I literally got team takeover. And again, I don't mean to sit here and say that the people we're playing against were exactly the most dominant, like ridiculous competition. Also, sorry that I failed to mention, but Dope's on his other facilitating finisher in this gameplay right here with the lock takeover. You can see his takeover switch from playmaker to lock. But this one right here is 6'8". It's pretty much the same exact thing. Just has, better defense in some areas, worse defense in other areas, but you get the deal. Anyway, my whole point with this is that catch and shoot is mad easy. If you help off or you get dexed like off the inbound right here, because the dude's trying to watch the paint, watch me from, getting the lob cheese, and if he plays too high, I get the easy lob. It's just super exploitative. Hall of Fame dimer turns any build into an absolute shooting machine, and then, if you have a little bit of stick skill, a little bit, you can catch and shoot super easy. A lot of people gas how hard it is to shoot in 2K, as if like that requires, like a lot of times when you compare an inside big to an outside big, people will say, well, the outside big has to time his jumpers. That's skill related. Bro, if you can't time your jump shot with Hall of Fame shooting badges and Hall of Fame dimer passing you the ball and stuff like that too, with like 73 pointer, you're tripping. That is not hard to do in the first place. All right, so now let's just talk about the play locks in general. So obviously this one that I have, you can see my physicals are not exactly the most comp or meta, for instance, where I have pretty high strength. I did this with balanced pie chart because the funniest thing about this, right? I already showed you the ISO, the catch and shoot ability, the lockdown ability. Well, I actually made this build to set screens and play pick and roll offense as well. So that's why my strength is a little higher. And bro, like this build does it all. I could pick and pop, I could pick and roll, I could ISO, I could spot up, I can play lock, I can play big man defense. It does everything. And it's just stupid, flat out stupid that it does everything. In a game full of archetypes that are supposed to be only good at a couple specific things. Like let's talk about a finisher with the finishing and defense pie chart. It's only good at defense and finishing. It doesn't have shooting ability and it doesn't have playmaking ability to a great extent. Now, with this play lock pie chart, it's meant to be good at playmaking and defense, right? But with 62 three-pointer and 10 shooting badges, you're perfectly fine with, contact dunks on top of that. Now, my build is 6'7". When I get to a 98 overall, I have all my contact dunks and stuff like that. But say with a two-way slashing playmaker at 6'5" or 6'6", you can get your contact dunks a lot sooner. You can speed boost a lot sooner. You can see my pie chart that I did with the physicals. I only have 85 speed and 73 ball control. So this build from a glance doesn't look dominant, but when I do hit 99, it's going to be ridiculously dominant. And then obviously, like I said, I'm a legend as well. So just keep that in mind. But we don't have to talk about that whole aspect of this for now because this build is still very dominant in the sense of what it actually is. Now, I will say, the difference between me and somebody else who's not a legend is you have to upgrade this post fade right here. So it takes away from something that you might upgrade regardless, where you have to lack in one of these defensive categories. But for most play locks, to not have offensive rebound doesn't matter that much, or for instance to, you know, drop your post moves because you're not going to be a power forward isn't that big a deal either. And the way that I built this didn't really get the most badges in general. You can see again I have 11 finishing, 5 shooting off rip, but 15 total, and then 24 playmaking and 27 currently defense, but 31 max. And all I did was max out defense. Everything else is pretty minimal, where I'd have 14 playmaking, 5 shooting, and 1 finishing, which is not exactly the best build. So keep all that in mind. This isn't meant to be a non-legend play lock. So this right here is what a real non-legend play lock is supposed to look like. Point guard, two-way slashing playmaker, 6'5" or 6'6". I think it's 6'6". You could still have literally 99 everything with speed, vert, and excel when you hit 99 overall. But out the box, we'll talk like just something that you could make on day one, grind your badges out, and be dominant with is this build right here. Now, what a lot of people like to do with these 25 attribute points is put it into post fade. You're going to see what happens is you get your extra 3 shooting badges, and then you can put this 1 extra rating somewhere. But what that leaves you with is a pretty non-complete lockdown build. Now, I personally feel like you could get away with literally just doing this right here, where you have 7 shooting, put it in the block, get your 2 extra defense, and block is a very important defensive rating, especially if you're not going to have interior defense. So personally, what I would suggest to do something like this, and then you end up with 7 shooting. That's still enough for gold range extender or, you know, silver range extender. I would definitely recommend to go with the gold anyway, but I would recommend silver quick draw and then silver hot zone hunter. That is by far enough shooting badges in this game. You can easily do that if you have around 65 to 67 3-pointer, and you'll absolutely do that at this point guard position when you get to 99 overall. So long story short is what I'm talking about. Great rebounding build, shot blocking is still decent when you move up to 6'5". You're gonna watch what happens with these defensive ratings, and low key, this is another thing that makes the whole balance of play locks really tough. So watch this. I'll just keep it burly, doesn't really matter. 6'3", right? Boom, I go up 1 inch, I go 7 block and 4 rebounding with 3 interior defense. Go up 1 more inch, you get 7 more block and 4 more defensive rebound. I mean, 6'5" is a ridiculously overpowered height in this game, and anything past that at 6'6", you can see there's really no big benefit. You just lose things like physicals, you lose 5 vert, you know, 3 acceleration, 3 speed, stuff like that. You lose the driving dunk by 3 as well, and driving layup by 3. Long story short is, I'm over here using a 6'7" version of this, and so is dope. I feel like the 6'5" is the most dominant one just in general. It has the most ball handling, best driving dunk, best speed and vert out the box. You can see this is literally maxed out on vertical off rip. It has 95, but with your +4s for the physicals for doing like, you know, the box jumps or whatever, or just being superstar 3, just instantly like that, you have 98 or 99 vertical. And then don't even mention, you know, obviously being higher than a 95 overall. Obviously it's going to go up from there. Go ahead and just minimize the weight just to have the best lateral quickness so you can actually be a lock. And then I would recommend with the whole max wingspan thing, I just feel like I said, you don't even need high 3-pointer in this game to be able to shoot well. I was rocking out with 64 3-pointer myself. You can easily do it as well. And I did have a couple extra badges like clutch shooter and volume shooter, stuff like that. You know, my catch and shoot really high. But the fact of the matter is you don't need those things, to be completely honest with you, as long as you run 2 of these things. And that's what we're here to talk about. The 2v2 taking such minimal skill because of things like this, where the two-way slashing playmaker or the play glass or the facilitating finisher, that's a play lock pie chart, whatever it is, you know, like as long as you're a play lock, I feel like to run 2 of these things on the 2v2, it's respected for whatever reason, and I don't understand why. I think a lot of people just see ISO and they're like, oh, that's cool, he's fighting for his buckets in one-on-one situations. Well, bro, like you got double locks. You don't even have to worry about your defense in the first place because the offense is so dominant, where you have long athlete layup package, contact dunks, the ability to green 3s off the top of the key, speed boost, have 99 speed, vert, and excel, be a lockdown at the end of the day, where I have literally 22 defensive badges on this. It's unreal how unbalanced this is. So anyway, just keep all that in mind, and without showing any like gameplay of this with the whole post-lock combo of how toxic that is, that's even worse. Like I'm talking, that is just completely unstoppable in the sense of, and I've seen people that sit here and talk about how that actually takes skill. That's unreal that people are over here talking about how a post-lock combo on 2v2 legitimately takes skill. I don't understand that in the slightest. But anyway, like I said, that's all for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know if you agree with my statement as far as the 2v2 court, and my statement in the title, 2v2 will never take skill in NBA 2K. It's flat out the truth. With Make It Take It, it encourages builds that are toxic. It encourages, you know, hop dunking, consistent, like contested 2-point shots where you have a post score and a lockdown back in 2K19. You have, you know, the post lock combo in 2K18. Even in 17 you had post lock combos, but at least the post scores took some skill. So the fact of the matter is, as long as it's make it take it, the toxicity is always gonna rule. I mean, it just encourages toxicity, to be honest with you. Make it take it does. Now, if it weren't make it take it, I've talked about this a lot on the channel. If it weren't make it take it, instantly play shots and sharpshooting builds and stuff like that become more meta, because the more it takes to get your 3-pointers, the better. And if people decide they want to play sides all game on picks or something, then ISO rules, because at the end of the day, if somebody plays you high, you can still get open from 3. ISO is going to rule. You're going to have to work to get 3-point shots. Anyway, I rest my case. A lot of people will sit here and cry about it and say that, you know, I don't want alternating possession. It's going to take too long to beat these bums. Cry about it, bro. I've lost all chill with this video, all right? Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. Let's try this video to 1,000 likes in the first 24 hours. The reason I'm so passionate about this topic is because truly, I'm tired of 2v2 taking no skill and just taking such mindless, you know, efforts, and the builds being so toxic where all it takes is to run double locks back in 2K19. Like, I'm talking people really literally run double pure locks in 2K19. People run double play locks in 2K20. They'll run post score lockdown, where, you know, back in 2K19, at least with a post lock, the lockdown was sitting in the corner and had to time a jump shot at least as a pure lock. Nowadays, all it takes is to throw that dude right in the paint and he fishes for rebounds, while the post scorer puts up contested post fades and hooks. And on 3v3, that stuff doesn't go. It doesn't work. Why? Because 3-pointers rule. And the fact of the matter is, the more dribbling and shooting you have to do and working as a team to score 3-point shots and strategy, it requires more skill and more IQ. So I rest my case right there. I hope y'all understand. And for those who sit here and talk about, you know, how alternating possessions is whack and takes too long, you're just simple-minded. That's all I can say. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed. And other than that, Toxic Laker out. Take it easy, man. Peace.